of 2025. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Mover. Gladys. That's order number 9.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the Supplementary Appropriations Bill, National Assembly Bill number 8 of 2025 be now read a third time, and I also request Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah, Majority Leader, to second.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to second, and with your indulgence, Honorable Speaker, let me take this opportunity to thank members who stayed until very late yesterday afternoon to conclude this appropriation bill for second supplementary appropriations bill. Honorable Speaker, for the benefit of those who are not in the House, we have now appropriated resources that are going into many of our MDAs, our ministries, departments, and agencies of government. And part of the money that we have appropriated, Honorable Speaker, I'm glad touches on some of the pertinent issues in the country that members of parliament have been petitioned on, including the collective bargaining agreements touching on our healthcare workers and our universities, Honorable Speaker. And you remember many of our university lecturers have been agitating for support for their universities. But the most important thing, Honorable Speaker, that I noted in this supplementary appropriations bill is the additional resources going especially to our universities, part of our healthcare sector, like the National Referral Hospitals, coming from A&A, appropriations in aid. Honorable Speaker, as I had mentioned during debate, most of these resources are coming as a result of digitization of the resource mobilization efforts in many of our parastatals. And therefore important to point out, Honorable Speaker, because it has been tradition in the past that when we do the second supplementary estimates, many MDAs get into a procurement rush so that they're able to expend many of these resources ahead of the financial year. We must tell them that the money appropriated, whether it comes from your A&A, must be done in a very transparent and accountable manner. And that's not just for MDAs that are raising their own resources, Honorable Speaker. We have also appropriated resources going to SHA, and you've seen the legal notices my deputy has just tabled this morning, that are going towards enhancement of the efficiency of the SHA program, Honorable Speaker. And we must ask even those agencies that are getting resources that are coming from member contributions, they must also be accountable. Honorable Speaker, I say that because we have also seen this year increments that have been effected on the National Social Security Fund contributions. And they are also getting resources that are being contributed by Kenyans going towards their later care in old age and their pensions. Honorable Speaker, I'm in possession of a petition that I am going through, and I'll be able to see what to do once I'm able to go through it. But I say that because NSSF contributions have increased almost sevenfold, and accountability on how money is invested and accounted for at SHA, at NSSF, is something that this House must lay very close eyes on and ensure that we hold to account those who are managing these funds. And I say, I was just reading a petition that I got this week, Honorable Speaker, and I'm going through it, regarding investments with companies. I think it was something like Pagamon or something, investment bank, at NSSF. And Honorable Speaker, all these monies that Kenyans are contributing, it is these members, and that's why I took liberty in seconding, to remind ourselves that it is us who must ensure that any money we appropriate to any state agency, ministry, or department, using our departmental committees, using our oversight committees, we must ensure there is proper accountability of all public resources. Those that we appropriate, and also those that are being contributed by Kenyans, like SHA, NSSF, and other funds that Kenyans contribute to, including, Honorable Speaker, the resources that are going to our agencies, the road agencies, Honorable Speaker, as much as we are still struggling with RMLF, with the courts, And since we are now publishing, we have already published the Division of Revenue Bill for the next financial year, I do hope, as we pleaded with our governors and the Council of Governors and the Senate, as we send the additional county allocations bill to them, they should be magnanimous enough to allow that bill that we processed here to be passed in the Senate as we did, so that our counties are able to access this money. And they take their time to hold governors accountable for the money they also appropriate to them. With that, Honorable Speaker, I thank you and beg to second.
Thank you, Majority Leader. I now propose the question that the Supplemental Appropriation Bill, National Assembly Bill number 8 of 2025 be now read a third time. I put the question. I'm satisfied that we have enough quorum in the House to vote on this. I now put the question, which is that the Supplemental Appropriation Bill, National Assembly Bill number 8. You can't do that, Catherine. You can't do that. The supplement, you are getting out of order. This bill was debated in extenso. In this order, Catherine, this order, Catherine Omanyo, I have been mentoring you to be a decent girl, and I want you to be so. I now put the question, which is that the Supplemental Appropriation Bill, National Assembly Bill number 8 of 2025, be now read a second time. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to authorize the issue of certain sums of money out of the consolidated fund and the application towards the service of the year ending on the 30th June 2025 and to appropriate those sums to certain public services and purposes. Order number 10, motion. Report of the Committee of the Whole House on the County Government's Additional Allocations Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2025. Question to be put and third reading.
Members on their feet, take your seats. Sigai, take the nearest seat. Honorable members, I now put the question at order number 10, which is that this House do agree with the report of the Committee of the Whole House on its consideration of the County Government's Additional Allocations Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2025. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the County Government Additional Allocations Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2025 be now read a third time. I also request the Honorable Hillary to second.
Hillary, give him the mic.
Honorable Speaker, I second.
Order, take your seats. Farah. Sorry, honorable members, I was consulting with the member for Busia County. Honorable members, I now propose the question, which is that the County Government's Additional Allocations Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2025, be now read a third time. I put the question. I now put the question, which is that the County Government's Additional Allocations Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2025 be now read a third time. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to provide for the additional allocations to county governments for the year 2024-2025 financial year, the responsibilities of national government and county governments pursuant to such allocation and for connected purposes. Order number 11, motion. Report of the Committee of the Whole House on the Public Finance Management Amendment Number 2 Bill, National Assembly Bill Number 26 of 2024, question to be put and third reading.
Next order. You've called? Yes. Number 11. Order, Honorable Farah, take a seat. Honorable members, I now put the question at order number 11, which is that this House do agree with the report of the Committee of the Whole House on its consideration of the Public Finance Management Amendment Number 2 Bill, National Assembly Bill Number 26 of 2024. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Mover. Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the Public Finance Management Amendment Act Number 2 Bill, National Assembly Bill Number 26 of 2024, be now read at that time. I also request the Honorable Ruku to second it. Thank you.
Ruku.
Honorable Speaker, I rise to second the motion because it's an important, because it's an important component for the Republic in terms of public financial management, so that we can get it right as a nation. I second.
Thank you. Members on their feet, take the nearest seats. Thank you. I now propose the question, which is that the Public Finance Management Amendment Number 2 Bill, National Assembly Bill Number 26 of 2024, be now read a third time. I put the question. I now put the question, which is that the Public Finance Management Amendment Number 2 Bill, National Assembly Bill Number 26 of 2024, be now read a third time. As many as of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to amend the public finance management and for connected purposes. Order number 12, motion, report of the Committee of the Whole House on the Insurance Professionals Bill, National Assembly Bill Number 13 of 2024, question to be put and third reading.
Members on their feet, take your seats. Nguzia, take your seat. Honorable members, I now put the question at order number 12, which is that this House do agree with the report of the Committee of the Whole House on its consideration of the Insurance Professionals Bill, National Assembly Bill Number 13 of 2024. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Mover.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move the Insurance Professional Bill, National Assembly Bill Number 13 of 2024, be now read at that time. I also request the former member of the Departmental Committee on Finance, Honorable Makalab, who has instead moved to the Departmental of Education, to second.
Mr. Speaker, I second.
Order, members on their feet. Ngusia, when you sit where you normally sit, you are very calm. Thank you. Honorable members, I now propose the question, which is that the Insurance Professionals Bill, National Assembly Bill Number 13 of 2024, be now read a third time. We put the question. Honorable members, I now put the question at order number 12, which is that the Insurance Professionals Bill, National Assembly Bill Number 13 of 2024, be now read a third time. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Yes, Majority Leader. Go on.
After he finishes.
A bill for an act of parliament to make provision for the establishment of the Insurance Institute of Kenya and the Insurance Professionals Examinations Board to provide for examination, registration, and regulation of standards and practice of insurance professionals and make provision for matters concerned therewith and incidental thereto.
Yes, Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I was seeking your indulgence that we also, before we go back to questions and statements, to first consider order number 8, the procedural motion,
I'm
order number 13.
I'm going back to that. Call out order number 8.
Order number 8, procedural motion, reduction of publication period of a specified bill.
My chairperson lies on committee. Deputy Speaker.
Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move the motion that the House do agree with the report of the Committee of the Whole House. No, sorry. Honorable Speaker, I wish to move a motion that the House, that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 120, this House resolves to reduce the publication period of the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 10 of 2025 from 7 days to 2 days. And I request the Majority Leader, Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah, to second.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to second, Honorable Speaker, this is a simple procedural motion on reduction of the publication period for the Division of Revenue Bill to allow us to have this bill go for public participation and be able to consider it when we resume after the short recess, and also to allow the Senate to begin working on their county allocation of revenue bill, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, it's important that we reduce the publication period to 2 days from the normal 7 days. Thank you, and I second.
Honorable members, I now propose the question at order number 8, which is that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 120, this House resolves to reduce the publication period of the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 10 of 2025 from 7 days to 2 days. I put the question, which is that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 120, this House resolves to reduce the publication period of the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 10 of 2025 from 7 days to 2 days. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Call out order number 13 for first reading.
Order number 13, the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 10 of 2025, first reading. A bill for an act of parliament to provide for the equitable division of revenue raised nationally between the national and county governments in the 2025-2026 financial year and for connected purposes.
Thank you. Go back to now order number 7.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Honorable members, we now go to questions and statements. I've had a special request for the woman rep for Nandi County, Cynthia Muge, who is number 6 on the list, to be given priority. She says she has an urgent matter to attend to. So I'll start with you, Cynthia. Statement number 6, Cynthia Muge, Nandi County.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me priority. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to provision of Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Education regarding implementation of the court ruling removing age restrictions for participation in school games. Honorable Speaker, on 9th May, that is in the year 2019, the High Court in Mombasa rendered a landmark ruling on petition number 65 of 2017, in which it declared section 17(3) of the Kenya Secondary School Sports Association unconstitutional and invalid. The section 17(3), Honorable Speaker, provided that a team or a player would be banned from participating in secondary school sports if that player did not meet the age rule, which is 19 years and under. This rule was discriminatory to the extent that it failed to consider the unique circumstances that hinder some children from starting school on time, and therefore making them fail to meet the age capping previously imposed by the KSSA for eligibility to participate in school games. Despite the definitive court ruling, Honorable Speaker, the KSSA continues to enforce section 17(3) of its constitution. This is in clear abrogation of the constitution and contempt of court. The Kenya Primary Schools Sports Association, KPSSA, also had a discriminatory age restriction, which, if not removed, Honorable Speaker, will continue to limit the learners from equal participation in primary schools. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Education on the following matters. One, Honorable Speaker, the reasons for continued application of section 17(3) of the Constitution of the KSSA Sports Association, despite its annulment by the High Court in 2019. Second, Honorable Speaker, the immediate steps being taken by the Ministry of Education to ensure that the Kenya Secondary School Sports Association complies with the 2019 court ruling to ensure that all eligible students above 19 years also enjoy the right of participation in games as affirmed by the High Court, starting with the upcoming 2025 Regional Term 1 Games. Thirdly, Honorable Speaker, the measures in place to ensure that both the Kenya Secondary School Sports Association and the Kenya Primary School Sports Association align their constitutions with the court ruling in order to guarantee inclusivity in sports of students who are outside the conventional schooling ages at the primary and junior secondary and senior secondary levels. Honorable Speaker, this should be noted that there has been an increased class in the primary section, which was brought about by the CBC system, and therefore, Honorable Speaker, the children who are under the primary section have one additional year as opposed to the 844 system, Honorable Speaker, where we could only have kids staying in primary school for 8 years. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, these are the asks that I have for the Chair of the Committee on Education. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chair Education. Member of the Committee on Education, Majority Leader, who is a member of Education, Vice Chair Ivo Bara, you bring a response
in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Innocent Mugabe, member for Likuyani.
Thank you, Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding the recent violent clashes between police and residents of Likuyani constituency. Honorable Speaker, an altercation between a Nyumba Kumi official and a community member on 4th March 2025 triggered a wave of demonstrations, destruction of property, and loss of lives in Konambaya area, Likuyani constituency. On 4th March 2025, Mr. Simon Ashibira, the chairperson of community policing in Zoya Ward, allegedly assaulted Mr. Sydney Vugigi Culture, a young community member of ID number 26448917. Unfortunately, Mr. Sydney Vugigi succumbed to his injuries while undergoing treatment at Kitale Referral Hospital. Following his death, enraged residents stormed the home of the alleged assailant, intending to harm him, his family, and property. Police officers from Matunda Police Station, reinforced by officers from Moisbridge Police Station, intervened and evacuated Mr. Ashibira and his family. Honorable Speaker, Upon the evacuation, violent clashes erupted between angry residents and the police, leading to the fatal shooting of Ms. Dorcas Naliaka Wanjala, an expectant lady, and Ms. Sarah Toshia Boaz, and injury of 6 police officers and vandalization of 3 police vehicles. This tragic incident raises concern about public order management, police handling of violent mobs, and overall security in the region. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following. 1, a report on the status of investigations into the death of Mr. Sidney Vugigi Culture and reasons for the delay in arresting Mr. Simon Ashibira immediately to prevent public agitation and unrest in the community. 2, a report of the investigations into the deaths of Ms. Dorcas Naliaka Wanjala and Ms. Sarah Toshia Boaz, including steps taken to apprehend the police officers who used live ammunition against unarmed civilians. 3, the measures put in place to prevent the use of live ammunition during demonstration and adoption of alternative non-lethal methods of crowd control. And lastly, the steps taken by the Ministry of Interior and National Administration to compensate the families of deceased persons. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
When can you bring a response?
Honorable Speaker, we can do immediately when you resume the
2
first
weeks.
week. Yeah.
Thank you. Honorable Ali Wario Garsen.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and National Security regarding the killing of Mr. Isaac Abdullah Jarsodelo in Kone Garseni constituency. Honorable Speaker, on 29th December 2024, Mr. Isaac Abdullah Jarsodelo of ID number 23397077 was killed by officers of the Kenya Wildlife Service KWS during a confrontation between KWS personnel and herders in an incident of human-wildlife conflict. This incident was reported at Kitui Police Station under OB number 3291224, as well as the Director of Criminal Investigation DCI offices in Kitui and Tana River counties. Whereas the Kenya Wildlife Service, KWS, has taken responsibility for the incidents, the circumstances surrounding Mr. Jarso's death remain unresolved. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following. Number 1, report on the status of investigation into the killing of Mr. Isaac Abdullah Jarsodelo and steps being taken to apprehend the officers involved. Number 2, the reason for the shooting to death of Mr. Isaac Abdullah Jarso by KWS officers instead of arresting him to be subjected to the court of law. Number 3, action being taken to prevent further confrontation between Kenya Wildlife Services, KWS personnel and local herders to avoid similar tragic incidents. And number 4, measures put in place by the ministry to enhance good cooperation and relationship between law enforcement agencies, local communities, and other stakeholders to recur that such incidents do not escalate in the future. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. But, Honorable Speaker, I have a concern. Honorable Speaker, the Committee on Administration and National Security, whenever we ask question or statement, Honorable Speaker, we need satisfactory answers. Honorable Speaker, I raised a statement on the abduction of Abdullahi Ahmed and Mr. Ibrahim Ahmed. Honorable Speaker, the statement, the answers which were given by the committee is unsatisfactory to the family, even to the Member of Parliament. Honorable Speaker, whenever...
Honorable Wario,
yes, sir.
That concern you can raise at the time the statement is given, or seek a point of order at a different time so that we deal with your statement that you have just requested for.
Honorable Speaker, I am guided, but I am requesting in the future, whenever they are engaging the ministry, they should call the member concerned so that they can interrogate further, Mr. Speaker. The family are suffering of the abducted persons, even for the deceased, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll soon resume ministers coming to answer questions, and you can check with the table office and the majority leader to see if your question can be reframed and relisted for the minister to answer when the minister appears here. Tongoyo, when can you bring a response?
We can do the same when we receive 2 weeks from now, Speaker.
Next, Honorable Joseph Tonui, member for Kuresoi South.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement.
Raise your voice.
I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding the operationalization of administrative units in Kuresoi South constituency. Honorable Speaker, on 21st July 2017, the Ministry of Interior and National Administration gazetted administrative units, including Tinet and Kiptagij divisions. Kiptagij, Sotiki, Bararget, and Kapongoi locations within Kuresoi South constituency. These administrative units were intended to bring essential government services closer to the residents, enhance security, and facilitate efficient delivery of public services. However, nearly 8 years since gazettement, the units are yet to be operationalized, resulting in residents traveling long distances to access essential government services. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following. Number 1, a status report on the operationalization of the administrative units in Kuresoi South constituency, including Tinet and Kiptagij divisions, Kiptagij, Sotiki, Bararget, Kabongoi locations, in line with the gazettement notice of 21st July 2017. And number 2, the measures put in place by the Ministry of Interior and National Administration to ensure that these administrative units are fully operational, enabling the local population to access essential government services conveniently and efficiently. I thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Tonui. Tongoyo.
Honorable Speaker, I need your indulgence on this because you remember in every other sitting we have been having a question actually akin to this one. And Honorable Speaker, just for record, we had already, as I had mentioned earlier, we had called the minister at the ministry on 20th, that is next Thursday, so that he can able to comprehensively respond to this question of administrative units. As I had mentioned to you, and it is in record of this House, that when they were appearing on BPS, that indicated to the country and to the House that already they had approved 24 sub-counties, 80 divisions, 380 locations, and 674 sublocation. So maybe, Honorable Speaker, I need maybe your guidance on this, because it's a question that keeps coming every other time. If maybe the members can appear during the committee session as the friends of the committee, so that maybe the ministry can also able to respond to the concerns.
Majority Leader, when do you start having ministers come to answer questions?
As soon as we are back, Honorable Speaker.
You can...
the first Wednesday, that should be the 2nd of April.
So this question by request for a statement by Honorable Joseph Tonui and many others of a similar nature, including the issue of classification of hardship areas. You can organize for the Minister for Interior to be the first to appear, so that you put together all those questions and statements for him to respond. Honorable Tonui, upon resumption after the short recess, be available to prosecute your statement when the Minister comes here.
Thank you, Speaker. Well guided.
Thank you. Onesimus Ngogoyo, MP, Kajiado North.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to seek a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations regarding the status grant to the Gates Foundation, formerly known as the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Honorable Speaker, through Kenya Gazette, supplementary number 181 of 2024, the government granted the Gates Foundation special privileges, recognizing it as a charitable trust that with exclusive rights in Kenya. The privileges allow the foundation to engage in contract, initiate legal action, conduct property transaction, and enjoy legal immunities within the country. However, concerns have been raised regarding the rationale of granting of this special status and its broader implication, given that the involvement of the foundation in public health, agriculture, technology, programs, and other development sector, it is important to clarify the legal basis and justification for these privileges. Further, it will be important to inform the public of the full scope of activities of the foundation in Kenya, and whether the privileges granted are within the established diplomatic norms. While the foundation contributes to national development, it is imperative that its operations remain within the legal and the regulatory framework set by the government. Honorable Speaker, it's against this background that I request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations on the following. 1, the justification for the grant of special status to the Gates Foundation, including the diplomatic privileges and immunities for these expatriates. 2, a comprehensive report on the scope of activities the foundation is undertaking in the country. And 3, clarification of whether the activities of the foundation in the country are under state oversight and regulation. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chair, Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations, Bashir. 2
thank
weeks.
you. Seconds.
2 weeks.
Honorable Speaker, I think we will be able to give this response just a week after we resume. You know, these matters are also touching on diplomacy, which is a bit complicated, so we need at least 1 week after we resume.
3 weeks. Okay. Honorable Joseph Gitari, member for Kirinyaga Central.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to provision of Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Committee on Education regarding the implementation of career progression guidelines for teachers. Honorable Speaker, in 2017, the TSC adopted a career progression guidelines effectively replacing the previous scheme of service. The new framework aimed to streamline promotions based on standardized criteria for all the teachers, including academic verification. However, many teachers have raised concerns about fairness and transparency of this scheme. Especially, it is claimed that the Commission does not adequately recognize efforts made by teachers to further their education, leading to career stagnation and demotivation. Further, a report revealed that some teachers have not been promoted in the last 24 years, which has led to further frustration. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Education on the following. 1. Report on implementation of the career progression guidelines, especially how academic qualification have been considered in the promotion of teachers. Mr. Speaker, number 2, a report of the number of teachers promoted since 2017, including head teachers, and reasons for the lack of promotion of some teachers over the past 24 years. Number 3, Mr. Speaker, the measure that the Teacher Service Commission has put in place to remedy career stagnation problem among teachers, noting the current shortage of junior secondary school teachers. And finally, Mr. Speaker, strategies that the Teacher Service Commission has put in place to motivate teachers, especially those who enhance their academic qualification. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Gitari. Geoffrey Ruku, Mbeere North.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to request for a statement regarding settlement of Ngire Motito location squatters in Mbeere North constituency. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Lands regarding settlement of Ngire Market Motito location in Mumeji Ward squatters in Mbeere North constituency. Honorable Speaker, construction of Kiambere Multipurpose Dam between 1983 and 1988 attracted staff and casual repairers to the site. The staff and other repairers set up temporary settlement at Ngire area within the land belonging to Tana and Adi River Development Authority, Talda. From then, they conveniently work conveniently work at the site. They continued living there after completion of commissioning of the dam, and by the year 2016, the number of households in the area had risen to nearly 6,000. Talda had designated provisional sites to cater for basic needs of the staff and other repairers, including a market, medical center, school complex, housing estate, and police station, but were never formalized. They never formalized the plan. Honorable Speaker, in the year 2016, Talda agreed to cede 182.3 acres of land, being 81.3 acres for Ngire Market, 20 acres for Ngire Police Station, 55 acres for Kiambere School Complex, 6 acres for Kiambere Health Facility, and 20 acres for the police station. The process of preparing a part development plan for the area and processing the title deed for issuance to the beneficiaries was commenced by the Ministry of Lands and Physical Planning, the National Land Commission, and the County Government of Embu, but has never been finalized to date. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for statement from the chairperson of Departmental Committee on Land on the following. 1. A report on the status of transfer of land agreed to be ceded by TALDA in 2016 for settlement of Gire Markets quarters and establishment of public amenities, including finalization of part development plan, adjudication, and issuance of title deeds to beneficiaries. 2, a report on the total size of land to be ceded, specifically the allocation for settlement, schools, markets, health facilities, police station, and other public amenities. 3, plans, if any, to increase the acreage of land to accommodate the increased population as at 2024, and to allocate 10,000 acres, and to allocate 10,000 acres of agricultural land to the marginalized Bere community. Number 4, reasons for excessive delay by TALDA to cede the agreed land to Ngire Market quarters, the step being taken to expedite the process and the timeline for completion of the exercise, and 5, the reasons why TALDA continues to deny the people of Gire in Motito location the opportunity to undertake subsistence farming on the surrounding empty land, leaving them vulnerable to reliance of relief food, and the step being taken to facilitate the access to the land for farming. Mr. Speaker, it is unfortunate.
You want to start debating your statement?
Just one sentence. Mr. Speaker, it is unfortunate that the people living in Motito location around Gire area have been denied year in, year out, every season, just to plant dengo, basic, which they can use in their families, by one institution called TALDA. It should be abolished. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chair Lands. Yamoko.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Mr. Speaker, yes.
Thank you. And I also didn't commit the statement request by the Honorable Joseph Gitari, Chair Education. I saw Meli here. Chair Education. Majority Leader communicate to the Chair Education to respond to Honorable Gitari's request in 3 weeks.
I will. They're actually consulting with the Vice Chair just behind you.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Prokuyo, as the chairman of the committee, has said 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Okay. Honorable Irene Mayaka.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I hereby request for a statement on the status report of the campaign to end the female genital mutilation by 2022. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Social Protection on the status of the campaign to end female genital mutilation by 2022. Honorable Speaker, in November of 2019, the Ministry of Public Service, Gender and Affirmative Action launched a national policy on abandonment of female genital mutilation following a firm commitment from the then President on the 4th of June 2019 to put an end to the female genital mutilation in brackets FGM by 2022. The policy was aligned with the impetus to accelerate eradication of FGM in the country. Honorable Speaker, while the strides taken by the Minister for Public Service, Gender and Affirmative Action in the eradication of FGM cannot be gainsaid, certain areas in the country still practice FGM. There is therefore need for extension of the campaign to end female genital mutilation to ensure total prohibition and eradication of all forms of FGM in the country. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Social Protection on the following. Number 1, status report on the achievements that resulted from the campaign towards ending FGM by 2022. Number 2, initiatives that the government has put in place to sustain the gains made through the campaign beyond 2022. Number 3, report on the programs the government has initiated towards sensitizing communities susceptible on the negative effects of FGM and the amount of resources allocated to achieve accelerated eradication of the vice. And number 4, plans that the government is putting in place to ensure total eradication of all forms of FGM, including extension of the campaign if any. I thank you, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, again, this is the second time I'm raising this statement. It was not responded to by end of the last session, and I therefore seek your indulgence.
Thank you.
To have it responded.
Chair, Social Protection. Who is the Chair for Social Protection? Owen, communicate to the Chair to respond in 3 weeks.
Okay. Much obliged, Speaker.
Walter Wino.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This is a request for statement regarding safety of road users along the Hispania-Kisii-Ahero Road. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure regarding safety of road users along the Hispania-Kisii-Ahero Road. Honorable Speaker, the Hispania-Kisii-Ahero Road is a transit route running along the eastern shore of Lake Victoria from Hispania to Lokichogio in northern Kenya and continuing onward to Juba. This road not only serves as a key trade route connecting Mwanza port of Tanzania with Kisumu port, but also plays a significant role in driving the economic activities of the Lake Victoria Basin. However, over the past few years, there has been a significant increase in road accidents along a section of the A1 road, particularly between Ranen to Awendo Town Center, resulting in numerous fatalities. Many of these accidents are attributed to speeding, careless overtaking by motorists, and lack of dedicated pedestrian pathways. The highway also traverses areas with densely populated schools, with students, teachers, and staff frequently using the road to access their institutions. Therefore, the lack of pedestrian pathways poses a grave risk to their safety due to the speeding vehicles on the road, necessitating government intervention to improve the road safety along the Hispania-Kisii-Ahero Road. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure to address the following. 1. The steps being undertaken by the Ministry of Roads and Transport to erect speed bumps along the Hispania-Kisii-Ahero Road, particularly from Ranen to Awendo Town Center, to regulate high-speeding vehicles on the road. 2. The measures put in place to ensure the safety of road users along the said road, specifically for the students, teachers, and staff who require pedestrian pathways for safe crossing. And 3. Plans, if any, to upgrade the Hispania-Kisii-Ahero Road to a dual carriageway, being a significant link to the A1 road traversing various counties. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Walter. Chair, Transport and Infrastructure. Chair, Transport and Infrastructure. When can you bring a response?
In 3 weeks, Honorable Speaker.
3 weeks. Martin, Walter, you'll get 3 weeks. Member for Kandui. I'm going to them. Okay. Give him the mic.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the indulgence. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Lands regarding the registration status of land parcels in Kandui constituency. Honorable Speaker, the land popularly known as Kiwanja Ndege, located in Kandui constituency within Bungoma town, comprises of multiple land parcels registered as LR number Bungoma municipality stroke 345, 610, 611, 612, 852, 795, 798, and 799. The land was initially designated by the government as an airstrip to serve Bungoma town and the environs. However, these parcels of land are to be decommissioned following the strategic relocation of airstrip operations to Matulo airstrip in Webuye, Bungoma County. The relocation of these operations was driven by several considerations, including the need to expand the airstrip into an airport, which necessitated a larger area to accommodate growing operational demands. Consequently, the affected parcels of land are proposed to be degazetted with the intention of reverting them to public use for the benefit of the community. However, concerns have been raised regarding the decommissioning process of the parcels of land and the subsequent utilization by the county government of Bungoma. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Lands on the following. 1. Clarification on whether land parcels registered as LR number Bungoma municipality stroke 345, 610, 611, 612, 852, 795, 798, and 79 have been decommissioned and the current status of their registration. 2. A report on the measures put in place to protect the land from encroachment and eviction of any person illegally occupying the land. And 3, a report on the public participation processes undertaken by the government during the decommissioning of the land, including any consultations held regarding future plans for the land parcels. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Chair Lands. Although Makali, that airstrip is the property of the Ministry of Transport. Yes. I don't know whether Lands is the correct respondent. I direct that the question, the statement request be directed to the Chair of Transport and Infrastructure. GK?
Noted, Honorable Speaker.
When do you bring a response?
3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Yes.
Okay. Theodos in Zambia. Theodos in Zambia. MP for Kilome.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this precious opportunity. Honorable Speaker, I rise to request for statement regarding abolition of application and replacement fees for national identity cards. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding abolishment of application and replacement fees for national identity cards. Honorable Speaker, on 14th November 2023, the then Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration filed Gazette Notice number 15496, announced revised charges and fees for various services, including the acquisition of identity cards. Honorable Speaker, the notice introduced 300 shillings application fee for first-time applicants and 1,000 shillings for replacement of identity cards lost. Unfortunately, these charges have created a barrier for many Kenyans, particularly those from marginalized and low-income communities. Honorable Speaker, as a result, a significant number of first-time applicants are unable to obtain a national identity card, which helps to facilitate access to healthcare, education, financial services, employment, and participation in democratic processes. Honorable Speaker, furthermore, the high cost of acquiring or replacing identity cards has created a system where access to identification depends on financial capacity. The mandatory imposition
of these charges infringes on the guaranteed constitutional rights, including rights to vote, access to employment and healthcare, and the ability to fully participate in democratic processes. This places an disappropriate burden on individuals and families living in poverty, existing inequalities, and pushes vulnerable population into deeper economic hardship. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson on the Department of Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following. 1. Immediate measures that the Ministry of Interior and National Administration is taking to abolish all charges associated with issuance and the replacement of national identity cards. 2. Steps the ministry is taking to fast-track the process of issuing and replacing identity cards, including expected timeline or processing of such an application. And 3, Honorable Speaker, initiatives that the ministry has undertaken to sensitize the public on the process of acquiring and replacing identity cards. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And the Honorable Speaker, this is a bit timely. I think yesterday the President, after making some requests, he declared that the ID should be issued for free. I wish to get a clear statement which is very official, so that our Kenyan citizen can keep on enjoying getting the services. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And I need your indulgence, Honorable Speaker. Having keenly listening to the question from the Honorable Member, Honorable Speaker, just yesterday, the head of state, who is the President, made a pronouncement that issuance of ID cards is going to be free in this country. Of course, having listened and being a caring President, especially to the issues affecting the youth, who are actually the beneficiaries of the ID cards. So, Honorable Speaker, I need your indulgence because I think that statement, by the time even I respond, it's already been overtaken by event, having the President already pronounced himself yesterday. And I'm sure even the Honorable Member must have had the pronouncement of the President.
He has just said so.
Yes.
There is a similar request from member for Huisero and one or two others. So you can combine them and just bring an affirmation.
Okay. Yes. But it's good that it's also on record.
He has just said so as well.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes. Sabina Chege.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, pursuant to provision of Standing Order 42C, I wish to request for a statement from the Chairperson of Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations regarding the sentencing of Ms. Margaret Nduta Macharia in Vietnam. Honorable Speaker, on July 2023, Ms. Margaret Nduta Macharia of ID number 28389979, who hails from Murang'a County, Kiharo constituency, Waidaga village, got an opportunity through a recruitment agency to travel abroad in search of greener pastures. Ms. Nduta left Nairobi for People's Democratic Republic of Laos through Ethiopia in the company of representatives from the agency. It is claimed, Mr. Speaker, that while on transit, she was informed by the agency that she needed to transfer her personal items to a new piece of luggage provided by the agency representative. From Ethiopia, Ms. Nduta journey ended in Vietnam under unclear circumstances. Her family was later called by an unknown person and informed that she had been arrested in Vietnam. On 6th March 2025, her family received information that she has been found guilty of drug trafficking and sentenced to death. She had the option to appeal her sentence within 7 days according to Vietnam laws. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Affairs on the following. 1. Urgent measures that the government is taking to intervene and assist Ms. Margaret Nduta Macharia, a Kenyan arrested sentenced to death in Vietnam. And I understand, Mr. Speaker, that the appeal was meant to be done by 12th of March this year. And number 2, steps the relevant agencies have taken to investigate the allegations of swapping of Ms. Margaret Nduta Macharia luggage in Addis Ababa while on transit to People Democratic Republic of Laos. And 3, measures that the government has put in place to facilitate the family of Ms. Margaret Nduta in reuniting with her and prevent similar incidents from occurring in the future. And Mr. Speaker, might be also whether there is any foreign policies, and especially on many of our young people, Mr. Speaker, who are traveling out of this country through recruitment agencies, whether the government takes time to even educate them on the expectation and when they go, how they can be able to reach out to the embassies in case of such need of help. I thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity.
Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations. Major Bashir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And I think, as I've earlier said, that we have another statement and we'll still bring them together first week after we resume from recess.
Thank you. Joseph Lelmengit. Yes, Sabina, hold on. Lelmengit, take your seat.
Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to humbly request that the committee should reach out to the ministry immediately because, Mr. Speaker, this is a death sentence that is facing a Kenyan. It is urgent. The deadline, I think, was yesterday, 12th. So even if they would not deliver the message, I know because you're going on recess, I would just request that this is immediately passed to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs so that they can start handling the matter and especially reaching out to the family who are on distress, Mr. Speaker.
Major Bashir, get all of the statement, liaise with Foreign Affairs. Even as we are on recess, committees are working. Once you have any response, communicate with the questioner and bring a response to the House on the first sitting day after recess.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Well guided, and I think I will get the statement and pass it on to the ministry so that we can get even an answer way before even we resume. Thank you.
Thank you. Lelmengit.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I would like to request for a statement regarding the role of government in promoting labor mobility among the youth through the Youth Enterprise Development Fund. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Social Protection regarding the role of government in promoting labor mobility among the youth through the Youth Enterprise Development Fund. Honorable Speaker, the Youth Enterprise Development Fund, operating under the Ministry of Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Arts, was established to advance the government's commitment to job creation, innovation, and sustainable development among Kenya's growing youth population, targeting individuals aged 18 to 35 years who constitute approximately 25 million people. The fund provides financial assistance, capacity building programs, and market linkages to empower young entrepreneurs in establishing and expanding their businesses. The fund seeks to enhance unemployment opportunities and drive economic empowerment by offering affordable loans, entrepreneurial support, thereby contributing to national growth and poverty reduction. However, despite various government interventions, youth unemployment in Kenya continues to rise, posing a major socio-economic challenge. This background that I rise to seek a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Social Protection on the following. Number 1, a detailed report on the total budgetary allocation for the Youth Enterprise Development Fund since its inception. Number 2, the current status of labor mobility among the youth and the actual number of beneficiaries who have actually accessed support through the fund. Number 3, a report on the sensitization programs, if any, undertaken or planned to be undertaken to enlighten the youth on the general population on the significance of the fund. And lastly, the key challenges that have hindered the effective implementation of the program since it was launched and steps taken to address the challenges. I thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair, Committee on Labour. Majority Leader informed the Chair to bring a response in 3 weeks.
Much obliged, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable members, allow me to acknowledge in the public gallery Harry Junior Secondary School from Dagoretti South, Nairobi, Our Lady of Nazareth Comprehensive School, Embakasi South, Nairobi. On my behalf and on behalf of the House, we welcome the students and their teachers to the House of Parliament. Yes, Omolher.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for your consideration. Honorable Speaker, you directed last week that a response be brought for a statement I gave to the Departmental Committee on Regional Development.
A statement you gave or you requested?
I requested for a statement,
yes,
but response was supposed to be brought today. You directed that it be brought this week.
Which
hasn't been scheduled for. Please, I need your indulgence on this. It's on the drought situation, and we're in the month of Ramadan.
Yes.
And you are directed that
Chair Regional
it be treated
Development.
urgently.
Who is the Chair Regional Development? Locha Kapong, ako kwa nyumba? He's not here. Owen Bayer, do you know where your chairman is?
You know, Honorable Speaker, although one of the days we appointed to sit, but it's also an unusual day to actually.
It's unusual for everybody.
Yes. So to
That's
expect
why
a
we are all here.
To expect a statement today, okay, but I will inform.
It is what? It is?
Okay, Honorable Speaker, being a Friday, on a day when we did expect that a statement would be read today, and I think the chairpersons also elections were being done last week. It's
that
important.
is one of the committees that were not affected. Locha Kapong was not subjected to any election. Where is he?
Allow me, Chapong is not here, Honorable Speaker, and allow me to inform him that he brings the statement. I know because of Ramadan and all that be late, but I will ask her to indulge us to allow us to bring the statement when we open.
As you do so,
yes,
once House Business Committee decides,
yes,
and the plenary of this House agrees,
yes,
that there's a sitting of the House, even if it were Sunday, it is like any other sitting day.
Okay.
So there is no excuse that is as an unusual sitting day. It's unusual for everybody.
Okay. I'm guided, Honorable Speaker.
And tell your chairpersons of committees, like you have said yourselves before, they must be the first to be in this House on each and every sitting day.
Guided, Honorable
So
Speaker.
advise Locha Kapong to bring a response on the first day upon resumption from the short recess, but in the event he has a response in between because committees continue working,
yes,
direct it to the honorable member who requested for the statement.
Okay.
Honorable Women Rep for Mandera.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, member for Kapchai, what is the problem?
Mr. Speaker, I will kindly take the undertaking as well because I'm a member of that committee,
yes,
and I'll report to him immediately I get out and call him, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Excellent. Do so.
The committee ended.
Honorable Abdul Haro, member for Mandera South. Abdul, hold your horses before you request for your statement. In the Speaker's gallery, I acknowledge the presence of Ngamba Mixed Secondary School from Mwala in Machakos County. On my behalf and behalf of the House, we welcome the students and their teachers to the House of Parliament. Go on, Honorable Haro.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This is a request for a statement regarding the recognition of the madrasa education system within the Kenya National Qualifications Framework. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Education regarding the recognition and inclusion of the madrasa education system within the Kenya National Qualifications Framework, KNQF, and its consideration in university admission criteria. Honorable Speaker, thousands of students in Kenya undergo a 12-year madrasa education system. However, upon completion, they are unable to transition to higher education in Kenya due to the lack of a policy framework linking their education to university admission requirements. As a result, many are forced to seek further education in countries such as Sudan, Egypt, Malaysia, Pakistan, Somalia, and Saudi Arabia, an option that is expensive and inaccessible to many. Consequently, a significant number of students never realize their dreams of higher education, while some who study abroad do not return to contribute to Kenya's development. The Commission for University Education, CUE, has accredited Bachelor of Arts in Islamic Studies and Bachelor of Arts in Sharia in select Islamic universities in Kenya, among many other courses. However, without formal recognition of the madrasa system within the National Qualification Framework, students cannot equate their prior learning for admission into these programs. Furthermore, this affects the growth and expansion of Islamic universities in Kenya. Honorable Speaker, Section 95(2)(e) of the Basic Education Act, Cap 211, provides for the operationalization of the madrasa system within the basic education framework to improve access and retention in regions with high numbers of out-of-school children. With the increasing demand for Sharia-compliant products and services in the region, Kenya has an opportunity to become a hub for capacity development in Islamic studies and Sharia. However, policy gaps hinder expansion in the education sector, limiting Kenya's ability to train professionals for this growing market. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Education on the following. A. Plans by the Ministry of Education to develop and implement a framework for integrating the madrasa system into the National Qualification Framework and University Admission Criteria as part of the ongoing implementation of the Presidential Working Party for Education Reforms recommendations. And B. Progress made in ensuring the comprehensive integration of the madrasa education system into Kenya's formal education system. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Haro. Chair Education. Vice Chair Education. Obara. Can you bring a response?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. We will give soon after we return from the recess. 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Yes.
Thank you. Chair Liaison Committee, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, hold.
Thank you,
hold. We take a response to a statement by Honorable Tongoyo first.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Is Honorable Gitari in the House? Is a response to a request by yourself? Go on, Tongoyo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to respond to the question by the said Honorable Member on the regarding insecurity in Kirinyaga County. Honorable Speaker, a report on the status of investigation into the killing of a minor, Stancy Nyakio Kinywa and Mr. Peter Karima, as well as the robbery and violence attack on the Mbogo family. Honorable Speaker, on the 4th January, around 2:30, the area assistant chief, Mr. Gerard Nyaga, reported that he had received information from Eva Wangeshi, who is the victim, regarding Stacy's disappearance. Honorable Speaker, we was a grade 7 people at Kaideri Primary School who went missing approximately 11 a.m. on the same day. During the search, Honorable Speaker, the victim body was discovered lifeless in a shallow hole within the Akovi plantation, located about 4 kilometers from the home. And upon visiting the scene, the officers from the Kirinyaga police station established that the deceased was half naked with trousers and underpants found beside her body, indicating she has been defiled and killed. Honorable Speaker, the murder report was booked under OB number 29 of April 0125 at Kirguya Police Station, and the body was transported to Kirguya Hospital morgue, where postmortem examination confirmed that the cause of death was hypoxia due to secondary suffocation, strangulation, following an assault, and a file number 22105 of 2025 was opened in respect of the incident. The forensic evidence, including swabs and fingernail samples, was collected and forwarded to the government chemist for further analysis. Honorable Speaker, to this date, by the time of writing of this report, the case was still under active investigation. On the issue of robbery with violence of Mr. William Bogo and the Joyce Wangu, on January 3rd, at around noon, William Bogo Nyaga and his family, Joyce Wangu, who operates an M-Pesa shop at a block area shopping center in Kirinyaga Center, closed their business for the day. While walking home on foot, they were ambushed by 3 unidentified gunmen armed with their firearms and crude weapons. Although nothing was stolen from them, they sustained serious gunshot wound to the right hand near the elbow, while the wife suffered severe head injuries. The victims were rushed to ACK Mount Kenya Hospital, where they were admitted and in fair condition. And upon visiting the crime, the officers from the said police station recovered 1 spent cartridge and 2 live rounds of ammunition. And the incident was also booked in Karaini Police Station via OB number 100301 of 25, and investigation commenced immediately under the case file number 221-3025. And the spent cartridge recovered from the scene was forwarded to the ballistic examiner at the DCI headquarters for analysis. The finding confirmed that the firearm used in this incident was also linked to a previous shooting in the Ruiru sub-county, which also had reported case number 31-1002 of 24 at Gatonga Police Station. Honorable Speaker, the case by the time of all writing was under pending active investigation, with unfortunately no arrest made so far. Honorable Speaker, on the last one of also Gladys Nyambura, on the 24th, approximately 9:30 p.m., on the M-Pesa shop operated also in Kirinyaga town, closed our business and boarded our border and raided by Eric Minor to take her home. Before reaching our destination, they were intercepted by assailants using 2 numberless motorbikes, each carrying a pillion passenger armed with a pistol. And the criminal immediately confronted the complainants, brandishing the pistols and forcibly snatching her handbag while demanding for money. Honorable Speaker, upon hearing the distress call, local residents, Kamau, age 44 years, responded in an attempt to assist. Unfortunately, one of the robbers shot him. They also fired 2 shots into the air to disperse the bystanders before fleeing the scene on their motorcycles. The police officers arrived promptly, but the criminals had already escaped. And the scene, the police also recovered 2 spent cartridges and 5 rounds of ammunition. The injured victim was rushed to Kirguya County Referral Hospital for treatment. However, the tragically succumbed to his injuries the following day. Tragically. And the postmortem examination confirmed that he had suffered a fatal gunshot wound to the abdomen. Investigation, Honorable Speaker, commenced under the offense robbery with violence contrary to section 296(2) of the Penal Code, referred under case file number CR22118 of 25, and the forensic analysis done at the DCI headquarters by the ballistic examinations on the 2 spent cartridges recovered at the scene established that the firearm used in this incident had also been linked to a separate robbery with violence case number DCI on the Ruiru again under OB number 31-1002-24, meaning this is a notorious criminals. As of now, the suspect remained at large, and the case is still under active investigation, to apprehend those responsible. Honorable Speaker, because I think, Honorable Speaker, I want to respond and confirm to this House that when we were having the issue of the issue of the Sakaja dumping of garbage on the KPLC headquarters, and we had the Sakaja and IG, we invited the concerned Honorable Speaker, and we listed this agenda as OOB to the IG. And the Member of Parliament had an ample time really to question the IG. And some of the intervention was actually to transfer some of the rogue officers, which he had also confirmed to this end that they were transferred. Though, of course, also a little bit concerned that to this end, no suspect has been apprehended.
If an officer is rogue in Kirinyaga,
yes,
and you transfer him elsewhere, does he stop being rogue when he gets a transfer?
Not really, Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
But I think the issue was he has stayed there for too long until he got a lot of familiarities. Yeah, I mean, that was the request put across by then, but I agree with you, Honorable Speaker. But overstaying, that is why the policy is about 3 years now. Because at times these people stay, they get so familiarized and even start doing businesses in the area. So at times maybe when they are transferred to unknown territories, areas, they may a little bit improve. So, Honorable Speaker, that is the response to these 3 cases, unfortunately. And I want also to pass really condolences to the families of the people who lost their life. Thank you, Speaker.
Gitari, if you participated in the interrogation of the IG, I believe that will do. You have any issue with the statement?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I have a number of issues.
Go ahead.
Number one, first of all, let me thank the chair for taking up this matter. There was something that was outside the statement about a rogue police who was attacking people around Karaine police post, and he intervened with the IG and was transferred the same day. Mr. Speaker, I'm also concerned the way you say a rogue police in Kirinyaga, even if he goes to Kapenguria, might be still rogue. Mr. Speaker, this young girl who was raped and then killed is 13 years old, was 13 years old, a primary school girl. Mr. Speaker, the people of that area called Kivingo and the family have a suspect of the person who did this. Mr. Speaker, when we were young, if you refuse to do something, you used to be scared by your parents that I'll call so and so. Now the students of the pupils of Kaidari Primary School are living in fear because the suspect is still at large. They think that he might strike again. What are they doing 2 months after that when we have a suspect who is known by the people from the surrounding? Mr. Speaker, the other issue of killing of Karemi, Peter Karemi, the police officers have been given CCTV camera clips of the incident. So these people are still low, and it is over 2 months. For how long will they take to arrest because they have the CCTV camera? Mr. Speaker, something concerning, in the answer of the statement, the IG agrees that there are low gangsters around Kirinyaga and admits that they are going around with some guns. I'm just asking myself, how long or how many people do they want to be killed so that they can be serious? Mr. Speaker, if they are unable to arrest these people, they can tell us to go and arrest them and we take them to the police station. Because this answer is not satisfactory. Because even the performance of Kaidari Primary School will be affected because the pupils are living in fear, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Mogaka.
I want to thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to also have a bite on the very good response from the chair of security. And I think I want to commend the IG for being hands-on whenever called upon to respond. Indeed, even in my constituency, as this adage goes, familiarity breeds contempt. Whenever police officers and any public officer serves for too long in a place, they become part of the local systems which defeat the efficient operation of government agencies. Like Mr. Speaker, I am worried in my constituency today. There is a funeral supposed to take place on a disputed land and at Rangenyo, and our court has issued a stop order to that burial. But curiously, the people who have allegedly grabbed the land have now police protection to continue with an illegal funeral on an illegal land. And these are the areas where, Mr. Speaker, I want the IG to be instructing his officers that for law and order, the police should be in the front line to implement lawfully issued court orders. And I do hope that whatever is happening in my constituency at Rangenyo today does not result in loss of life and property. And Mr. Chair, when we resume, I will be issuing a statement on that. And I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You will be issuing or requesting?
I will be requesting for a statement when we come back from recess. I will be requesting for a statement. And
Tongoyo?
And I'm happy that, of course, the member confirmed that we got an opportunity to really interrogate the IG. And Honorable Speaker, from the statement that he sought, the issues were not actually captured. To include even the very rogue officer is through actually appearing before the IG that he came as a subsequent question, which was well addressed. Honorable Speaker, I want also to, I think when he was there, we actually told the IG, of course the DCI were also there to speed up investigation and give us the update report. And if you saw your indulgent Speaker, maybe by the time we resume, we can as well still ask them to give us the updated, because issue of investigation may actually keep changing time to time. Honorable Speaker, you remember also actually in this supplementary budget, we did allocate some resources to the forensic lab so that it help our officers, because some of these criminal activities, as the organized one, they are so complex and at times need more of actually updated kind of equipment and technology. And as a committee, we saw it fit to really add resources to the forensic lab so that it helps our officers when they carry such complicated and complex investigation. And I want to say that, Honorable Speaker, you remember also the issue of Emuhaya, the Honorable Mlemba, you instructed that I actually indulge the IG, and I'm also happy that he did even confirm that there's a lot of good work that took place in that area. Yes. And so despite the challenges, our officers are on top of things, and we are going to make sure that they continue to serve Kenyans accordingly.
Thank you. Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44.2b, as read together with Standing Order 179.14, I rise to make a statement regarding the leadership of the select committees. Honorable Speaker, Standing Order number 179.14 requires the chairperson of the Liaison Committee, by way of a statement, to notify the House of the duly elected chairperson and vice chairperson of a committee when the House next sits after the conduct of the election. Honorable Speaker, at the commencement of the fourth session on the 11th of February 2025, via communication number 001 of 2025, you did inform the House that the term of the various select committees had lapsed, and on the very day, Tuesday 11th February 2025, and in line with the applicable laws, standing orders and practice, you consequently, the Committee on Selection which is mandated under the Standing Order 173 to nominate members to serve in committees, save for the membership of the House Business Committee and the Committee on Appointments, submitted to the House a motion on the reconstitution of committees. Honorable Speaker, the House will recall that on Wednesday, 5th March 2025 and Thursday, 6th March 2025, we approved the appointment of members to the lapsed committees and made consequential changes to other committees. Following the reconstitution of the various committees, the Clerk of the National Assembly, in exercise of the powers conferred under the provisions of Standing Order 179-2, declared the vacancies in the offices of the chairperson and vice chairperson for the reconstituted committees. The clerk also declared vacancies in the committees affected by the consequential changes. To facilitate elections and pursuant to Standing Order 179-2, the clerk appointed Wednesday the 12th and Thursday the 13th as the dates for the elections. Further to compliance with the standing orders, on the 6th of March 2025, the clerk published and circulated a schedule of committees indicating the venues and times of holding the meetings for the purposes of conducting elections. Honorable Speaker, in line with the provision of the standing orders, the affected House committees conducted and concluded elections of chairpersons and vice chairpersons as scheduled. In this regard, Honorable Speaker, I wish to report to the House that all 18 reconstituted committees under the category of Audit and Appropriations and General Purpose Committees and 9 departmental committees affected by the resolution of the House of Tuesday, 11th March 2025, elected their leadership as follows. I will start with the Audit and Appropriation and General Purpose Committees. 1. Public Accounts Committee. The chairperson is the Honorable Nicholas Scott Tindi Mwale MP, and the vice chairperson is the Honorable Amina Udgun Siyad MP. 2. The Public Investments Committee on Governance and Education. The chairperson is the Honorable Wanami Nelson Jack Wamboka, CBS MP, and the vice chairperson is the Honorable Kibagendi Anthony MP. 3. The Public Investments Committee on Commercial Affairs and Energy. The chairperson is the Honorable Kosing David Lasiakau, CBS MP, and the vice chairperson is the Honorable Dr. Namoit John Ariko MP. 4. The Public Investments Committee on Social Services and Administration and Agriculture. The chairperson is the Honorable Wangwe Emmanuel, CBS MP, and the vice chairperson is the Honorable Yai Caleb Amisi MP. 5. Special Funds Accounts Committee. The chairperson is the Honorable Fatuma Muhammad, CBS MP, and the vice chairperson is the Honorable Abdul Rahim Dawood, HSC MP. 6. Decentralized Funds Accounts Committee. The chairperson is the Honorable Dr. Mulyungi Gideon Mutemi, EBS MP, and the vice chairperson is the Honorable Mwanyanje Gertrude Mbeyu MP. 7. Budget and Appropriations Committee. The chairperson is the Honorable Atandi Samuel Anunga MP, and the vice chairperson is the Honorable Dr. Pukose Robert, CBS MP. 8. The Public Debt and Privatization Committee. The chairperson is the Honorable Shureya Abdi Omar, CBS MP, and the vice chairperson is the Honorable Murembo Irene Njoki MP. 9. The Committee on Delegated Legislation. The chairperson is the Honorable Chepkonga Samuel Kiprono, CBS MP, and the vice chairperson is the Honorable Robert Gishimu Githinji MP. 10. Diaspora Affairs and Migrant Workers Committee. The chairperson is the Honorable Mzigi Lydia Haika Mnene, CBS MP, and the vice chairperson is the Honorable Kingara Simon Nganga MP. 11. The National Government Constituencies Development Fund Committee. The chairperson is the Honorable Sirma Musa Cherutich, EGH MP, and the vice chairperson is the Honorable Kasim Sawa Tandaza MP. 12, the Committee on Implementation. The chairperson is the Honorable Wanjala Raphael Sauti Bita, CBS MP, and the vice chairperson is the Honorable Mumo Rose Museo, CBS MP. 13, Committee on Regional Integration. The chairperson is the Honorable Mayaka Irene Nyakererio, MP. The vice chairperson is the Honorable Yakub Farah Salah, MP. 14, Committee on the National Cohesion and Equal Opportunity. The chairperson is the Honorable Yusuf Adan Haji, CBS MP, and the vice chairperson is the Honorable Were Charles Ongondo, MP. 15, Constitutional Implementation Oversight Committee. The chairperson is the Honorable Karemba Eric Mushangi Njiru, CBS MP, and the vice chairperson is the Honorable William Kamket, MP. 16, the Committee on Parliamentary Broadcasting and Library. The chairperson is the Honorable Nanok Daniel Ipuyo, CBS MP, and the vice chairperson is the Honorable Chege John Kiragu, MP. 17, Member Services and Facilities. The Facilities Committee. The chairperson is the Honorable Dr. Karani Stephen Washira, CBS MP, and the vice chairperson is the Honorable Basil Robert Ngui, MP. 18, the Committee on Public Petitions. The chairperson is the Honorable Kagesi Kivai Ernest Ongesi, MP, and the vice chairperson is the Honorable Sitiene Janet Chepkemboi, MP. Next, I go to departmental committees, and I start with the 19, the Departmental Committee on Education. The vice chairperson is the Honorable Obara Eve Akinyi, MP. 20, the Departmental Committee on Energy. The chairperson is the Honorable David Gekaria, CBS MP. 21, the Departmental Committee on Environment and Forestry and Mining. The chairperson is the Honorable Musau Vincent Musioka, CBS MP. 22, the Departmental Committee on Health. The chairperson is the Honorable Dr. Nyekal James Wambura, MP. 23, Departmental Committee on Labor. The chairperson is the Honorable Kitty Richard Ken Choinga, MP. 24, the Departmental Committee on Lands. The vice chairperson is the Honorable Jewo Fatuma Abdi, MP. 25, the Departmental Committee on Regional Development. The vice chairperson is the Honorable Obor Paul, MP. 26, the Departmental Committee on Tourism and Wildlife. The vice chairperson is the Honorable Bedzimba Rashid Juma, MP. And lastly, number 27 committee, the Departmental Committee on Trade, Industry and Cooperatives. The chairperson is the Honorable Shinali Bernard Masaka, MP. Finally, Honorable Speaker, may I take this opportunity to congratulate all the honorable members who have been elected and vested with the responsibilities of being chairpersons and vice chairpersons of the various committees. I urge them to use their leadership offices to efficiently discharge their mandates discharge the mandate of the House through their respective committees for the welfare of our people and the advancement of prosperity of our country. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, David Speaker. Consequent upon a majority leader, you want to say something? Yes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Before you rise, let me thank the Deputy Speaker for this communication, this statement, Honorable Speaker, and also note that we have done very well in terms of adhering to the elections schedule that was issued by the Office of the Clerk. However, Honorable Speaker, this leadership of committees reflects the diversity of our nation, and it's important that even the leadership of the House reflects that diversity. And the leadership, both on the minority side and the majority side, we had endeavored to guide the committee so that the chairs and vice chairs that they elect also reflect that diversity, both regional, ethnic diversity of our country. And Honorable Speaker, also the party strengths and conforming with agreements that we have entered into. And I know there are two committees, Honorable Speaker, the election of the Vice Chair of the Regional Development Committee and the Committee on Implementation, where this was not adhered to, and we have agreed with the leadership on the minority side. Immediately after recess, as we had committed, we will be reconstituting some of these committees so that we ensure that we conform both with our agreements in our political coalitions, our regional and ethnic balance also. And two, Honorable Speaker, is to speak to the new chairs and those who have had the opportunity to continue serving this House as chairs. Honorable Speaker, you notice yesterday as we were in the Committee of Supply, we had only 4 chairs of committees who were there to support the supply of resources to their departments and agencies that fall under the purview of the committees that they lead. And I say this, Honorable Speaker, because again, we have agreed with our colleagues on the minority side, whether you are leading a departmental committee or a select committee, whether from the majority side or the minority side, you have a responsibility first to be available in the House. Because, Honorable Speaker, you have said numerous times, even on quorum matters, you have had to sit there and wait for quorum, yet we have over 60 members of this House who are chairs and vice chairs. The whips don't even need to go looking for quorum. And Honorable Speaker, I know the other efforts that you have put in as the Parliamentary Service Commission, even in engagement with the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, to ensure that members are properly facilitated to be available in the House. And I want to plead with all these chairs, Honorable Speaker, to be available in the House, not just during the budget making process, but also on ordinary sitting days. We have statements, very often, Honorable Speaker, you have to ask the leader of majority to commit to when a statement will be answered to. And now it's become customary to say 2 weeks. And I get very embarrassed, Honorable Speaker, because at times, even when I leave the chamber, you can't even trace those chairs in the House. And it's imperative that the chairs, at least at the rise of the House at 2:30 or at 9:30 in the morning, they should and they must be in the House. And because I can see a few of them new chairs, and I must congratulate the Honorable Nyikal on his election as a chair of the Health Committee, and ask other chairs to emulate Honorable Nyikal, not just now as a chair, but as a member of this House. Ever present in the House. Ever present. And therefore, I am confident that someone like Honorable Nyikal will do very well as a chair in health, because he's always present in the House. So mine was just to appeal to all these chairs, even and vice chairs, as we congratulate them. The reason why committees have a chair and a vice chair is so that if the chair is not available to chair a meeting or in the chamber, the vice chair must be there. So if you are two of you, a chair and a vice chair, you should just agree Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, who is in the House at what time, so that at all times there is either a chair or a vice chair seated in the House. And I want to say this will be one of the parameters we'll use to determine whether in your performance contract as a chair or a vice chair you are performing. If you do not perform, I will not say it will be messy and noisy, because I know who holds the patent, Honorable Speaker, of that. The copyright and patent of noisy and messy is held by none other than yours faithfully, the Speaker. And it will not be noisy. We will quietly relieve you of your responsibility so that you allow another member, because the 349 members who are elected in this House are able to be chairs or vice chairs of committees, and they can lead. But that's why the people in their constituencies give them the confidence to elect them as members of Parliament. I therefore hope all these chairs, those who are here, those who are not here, will heed to our plea. First, to be available. 2, to offer leadership. And most importantly, to bear the greatest responsibility as leaders in committees to drive the business of the House seamlessly. Honorable Speaker, thank you.
Yes, Haika. Give to Haika the mic.
Thank you very much, Speaker, for this opportunity. I'm one of the chairs that I got this opportunity to serve as the chair, Diaspora and Migrant Affairs. And Speaker, I want to take this opportunity to appreciate the members for giving me that opportunity and for giving many other chairs and vice chairs opportunity to serve. With your guidance, Speaker, we want to assure the nation and also members that we are going to serve them well. We shall be guided by the Constitution and our standing orders here in the chamber, in the House. And we also going to protect the rights of Kenyans. And I also want to thank the President for uniting the country and giving us opportunity to serve in broad-based government, where even in the chambers, all members have been given an opportunity to serve. We pray that we shall serve Kenyans well. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, honorable members. I have a short communication in pursuance to what the Deputy Speaker has communicated in a statement. Honorable members, this is a form of guidance on the newly elected chairpersons and vice chairpersons of committees. And I fully reiterate what the majority leader has said. Please take that responsibility seriously and serve the nation. Honorable members, this guide relates to the statement that has just been issued by the chairperson of the Liaison Committee, who is also the Deputy Speaker of this House, notifying the House of the duly elected chairpersons and vice chairpersons of committees following the recent reconstitution thereto. At the onset, honorable members, I wish to congratulate the newly elected leaders. As I do that, I take this opportunity to remind the new committee's leadership of the additional responsibility that has been bestowed on them. The success of the respective committees and by extension the House will largely depend on their approach to the call of duty. Moreover, honorable members, I call upon the new chairpersons and vice chairpersons to rise to the occasion and seek to steer the committees to effectively and efficiently undertake their mandate. In doing so, I encourage them to embrace collegiality, integrity, equity, and fairness in the carrying out of the affairs of the committees. Additionally, the new leadership is reminded of the great duty of oversight that is bestowed to the House by the Constitution and delegated to the committees that you now chair. The success of the fulfillment of this role will depend to a large extent on the efficiency of these committees. Only then will the welfare of society and the just government of the people be guaranteed. Having said that, honorable members, the clerk is hereby directed to immediately make arrangements to facilitate the new committee leadership in line with the Constitution, statute, and the applicable Parliamentary Service Commission resolutions. This will include provision of suitable office space for the chairpersons as well as other administrative support as necessary. Evidently, honorable members, there are going to be adjustments in the occupants of offices within the precincts. In this regard, members who had been provided with office spaces on account of their leadership positions in committees and who have since ceased to be chairpersons or chairpersons, vice chairpersons of such committees are required to relinquish the said offices not later than Wednesday, 19th March 2025, as we seek to settle the new leadership. Nobody will be left unsettled, but if you are not a chair or a vice chair, you'll get an office consistent with and commensurate with your status as an ordinary member of the House. Finally, honorable members, on behalf of the leadership of the House, and indeed on my own behalf, I take this opportunity to assure the new committee leadership of our joint support as they embark on undertaking the mandate and in their committees. As leadership, we hope that the chairpersons and vice chairpersons will take a keen interest in the processing of House business and the present and be present in the House to prosecute matters under their docket. Honorable members, I also want to point out, I've always talked to the majority leader. There are just a few committees, not more than 3-4, to whom the departments of government, the oversight, consistently come calling to the Speaker's chamber to protest the manner in which the committees handle those government officials when they appear before them. I want to encourage you. Serve without fear or favor and serve with integrity. Avoid the temptation to have an illegal title within the committee of a member called a welfare member, so that you do not scare and cause issues that are not in keeping with the integrity that this House must have. So, Majority Leader, as you lead the team with your counterpart across the floor, don't just ensure presence in the House, also ensure that integrity is upheld. And when you get those complaints, don't sweep them under the carpet. We have mechanisms in the House of dealing with any errand behavior, including the ultimate appearance before the Privileges Committee, where such things happen. As your Speaker, I stand here to protect all of you. But as your Speaker, I'll not protect bad behavior. I will protect all of us who conduct ourselves in accordance with the standing orders, in accordance with the law, in accordance with the Constitution, and above all, in line with the expectations of the people of this country that we serve. Thank you. Yes, Daktari.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm also one of the members who's had the opportunity to be elected as a chair. And may I take this opportunity to appreciate the leadership of the parties that has created the new political arrangement. The president of this country, President Ruto, His Excellency President Ruto, and the leader of our party, Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, because it is this new arrangement that actually resulted in the reorganization of the committees that has led to some of us being elected. May I also take this opportunity to thank members of my committee for having the confidence to elect me to this. And Mr. Speaker, I've noted since we were elected that this new arrangement and the changes has created a huge expectation in the country that things are going to change for the better and going to work better. And at least that's something that, at least on my part, I'm aware of, because it is a challenge that we have to rise to. Because this is actually an opportunity not to serve political interests, but actually give service to our people. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, my only comment on this is this is one of the House of Parliament. And of late, the picture outside there is the National Assembly is not working as expected. That has created a bit of lacuna, to the extent that the other house takes on everything and anything that comes across them, because the National Assembly Committee members are not doing the same. And that creates a crisis for the leadership, for the Speaker, a crisis for implementation, even a crisis for the executive. So now that the issue of committee chairs and the vice chairs and whatever, and how one man has merited is behind us, my only prayer, Mr. Speaker, under your leadership is this. Luckily for you and me and many others who have been part of the making of the current constitution, and we understand what we meant to have as the mandate of the National Assembly and the Senate. I really want to plead with the leadership, in particular the leader of majority. And right now, because we have this convoluted system of broad-based government, both the majority leader and the minority leader, so that once committee chairs, and I think with proper guidance from from the clerk's office. What I have gathered, and having chaired many different committees, there is fear by the chairs. The fear, and I don't know where the fear is coming from. An issue that is 100% within the mandate of the National Assembly Committee goes to the other house. And you know the role of the other house. The members of the executive are now put in a very awkward position because there is no avenue for implementation of the same. But equally, because they are members of parliament and they are politicians, once they find a great area, they will have to just run with that particular, and that's exactly what is happening right now. So I want to believe with the majority leader. Can we allow the chairs and the vice chairs, and I know you have allowed it, and you have also been this, to exercise a bit of, and they should be encouraged. There is nothing to fear. As long as you follow the due process of law. Ultimately, the report that will be generated will come to the speaker. The speaker has to go through it. You know how, if it's unconstitutional, I'm sure you will decline to sign. So because of that, you see outside there, I have always thought of having this August House as a very, in particular the National Assembly, as a very important house. I really want to believe with you. Now you have the fifth role. Once you are elected, your first mandate was to do representation. The second was to do oversight. The third was to do budget making. And the other one was legislation. Now the fifth one is you are chair of a committee. Because that gives you another mandate. So my good friend Kimani Chungwa and the other leaders, I think you need to have a closed door session with the chairs and the vice chairs. In addition to urging them to be attending house sessions, they need also to take them through the reports. Look, once the reports are generated, it goes through validation. And we have competent secretariat, Mr. Speaker. This issue of jurisdictional conflict will come to an end because the Senate will limit themselves to their role on oversight in devolution. You can see, I'm sure right now what is happening. Even you, sometimes you ask yourself, do we have two National Assembly? We have a Senate, and you know the role. We have a National Assembly, we have the role. So my plea, and in conclusion, in this, is notwithstanding you have qualifications. There's a reason why you are either appointed or elected as a chair of a committee. And then it must come with certain considerations. For those of us who are floating in Jubilee, we'll have another day to talk about our issues. But for now, for those who will have another day, because you know politics is very dynamic. You remember the last time when we were ejected out of the Senate leadership, and that thing came to true. Actually, that was a learning lesson. For us in Jubilee, we'll have another day to put forth our issues. For now, we'll just support what is there. How we ended up there is history, but I will use those quotable quotes from you. It may be a blessing. So I want to congratulate all the chairs and the vice chairs who have been given positions, but please take it seriously. Let it not be a paper title. Let it be a really title that will add value to the image of this house, to the Kenyan public outside there, and as Honorable Nyakala has rightly put it, the expectation outside, the atmosphere is pregnant actually with expectations. The expectation is we have a broad-based government, meaning the modus operandi is going to change. So I wish you well. Please carry our image as, I wouldn't say upper house, but as a critical house outside there to the community, because right now we are under serious scrutiny by the members of the Fourth Estate. We need to reinvent this so that earns us re-election. Mr. Speaker, you know how difficult it is to be re-elected. That earns us a name, and that also continuity. I wish you well.
Yes, Owen. There you are.
Oh, this is, okay, thank you. Honorable Speaker, I want to say thank you very much and also to congratulate the chairs that have been elected to these positions. And also, Honorable Speaker, to appreciate one thing, one fact that is very fundamental, that for the first time, the composition of the chairs and the committees have actually reflected the National Assembly in terms of the nation. That at least every community, every region has been given an opportunity to serve in a position of a chair or a vice chair. I have for many years, Honorable Speaker, looked to that opportunity where
every community, every person, every region, every county has an opportunity to serve as a chair in this august house. And Honorable Speaker, I want to say this, I am glad that it is happening during our time, that you are the Speaker, I am here serving as a Deputy Majority Leader, and during our time, at least there's that transformation. I remember when Kijana Wamalwa was sworn in as Deputy President, as Vice President then, he said there's a new gaiety in the walk, in the country, because there's a rejuvenated, there's hope all over the place. And I want to believe that is the same building that we will live to as a house, that there's a new awakening, a new rejuvenated spirit that will take the business of this house to a level higher, so that everybody feels included, and that inclusiveness, Honorable Speaker, comes to this house, and so that we may be able to unite the nation the way it happened during the what I call the NAC revolution, when everybody else came and said Kibaki Tosha, and we had a country that was very united. I look forward to that opportunity, that this country remains very united. And as a National Assembly, we have taken up that mantle, and I think we are showing it here that we want to unite this country the way the President is talking about. So I want to ask every member that's been given an opportunity to serve with dignity, to serve with integrity, and to serve with truthfulness, so that we can take this country forward. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Murembo. Give Honorable Murembo. This is where you are running from.
Thank you, Speaker. I want to sincerely thank our President for at least honoring us as me and the others as a Vice Chair, and also to thank the leadership of the House for believing in me and for believing in us. I want to note the composition of women in the new leadership, and I want to say thank you for the leadership, also for believing in women and to deliver, and for us also as new members. I want to request that as we continue, in case there will be any realignments, we try and also consider the women. Personally, and I want to commit to serve diligently, to deliver the mandate bestowed on us in the Public Debt and Privatization Committee. And I want to say, we are going to be there for all the members. The members in Public Committee, Public Debt, I want to say thank you, and mine as mine personally, including also the chair, I believe we shall always be there in the House, and we shall diligently be there for the leadership. Asanteni sana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and Ramadan Kareem to those who are fasting. Mr. Speaker, I would like to appreciate the confidence that the President of Kenya, His Excellency President Ruto, and His Excellency Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga has seen in us, being a first-timer in this Parliament, and with Honorable Irene Mayaka, having been given the opportunity to be chairs of these committees. It's a great honor, and we don't take it for granted. I appreciate the fact that we have 4 women chairs and 4 women vice chairs, but we are not going well as the Constitution says, because the men are more than the women. And so I believe, I know it's realignment time, as you do it politically, also do it with the gender role. Mr. Speaker, I saw Honorable Ichung'wah congratulate Dr. Nyikal, and I was looking at him in the eye and I was reminding him, I am here, I am a girl, I went in an opposed, I'm always in this Parliament. Please instruct him to come up and say congratulations. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
On his behalf, I congratulate you. Yes, and you have been re-elected or reaffirmed. So that creates an even greater degree of confidence that you enjoy. Yes, same as Haika. Yes, Naomi?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I just want to congratulate the new chairs and also those who have been there before and wish them the best, and also request them to give their best to the nation. Honorable Speaker, everything depends, the performance, the success of this House depends on the leadership. And the chairs are the leaders of every committee, and that means the performance of every committee highly depends on the chairs. And mine is just to say we need your support, we need your commitment as also leadership in the House. Many of you have been so committed. Others are here from morning to evening, and I just want to say thank you for those people who have always been in the House supporting and debating on different bills, as I also wish the new members the best, and also request that let us be in the House as we are expected from the time that we get in to the time that we are supposed to end. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I'm happy that many women have been given the opportunity to be chairs. Only 4, but that is also good. We need to appreciate our president and the leadership.
That is her opinion.
That is my opinion.
Yes.
If you want to refute, you can stand and do that. As I finish, Honorable Speaker, I want to congratulate our president who has opened, his hands and accommodated, and just to make sure that the country unites and moves together is something that is giving us a lot of hope. I am now confident that Kenya is one and a united nation. Congratulations to our president, and continue doing that. Remember, more ladies, more women in other appointments. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Evo Bara.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I also add my voice and thank my committee for electing me the Vice Chair of the committee. It was indeed an honor to be entrusted with the responsibility, Mr. Speaker, and I commit to put my best foot forward. Most importantly, Mr. Speaker, may I extend my deepest appreciation to our two leaders, His Excellency President William Ruto, and our party leader, His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga, for embracing the spirit of inclusivity. What we have here is the face of Kenya. Women, political parties, and that is what we call inclusion. Thank you very much. May God bless Kenya.
Chematia.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I also want to congratulate those who have been appointed to serve as chairs and vice chairs. But I have a lot of concern, Mr. Speaker, on the disparity on the gender in Parliament. Honestly, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the departmental committees, out of almost 20, you only have one led by Honorable Alice Nganga. And you probably have, in the select committees, you probably have around 2 or 3. Out of 60, you just had the leader of majority saying the number of chairs and vice chairs in the House are almost 60. It is not fair. Honestly, it's not fair. We probably, in the future, or we can even reconstitute this coming, when we come back, that at least we should have at least 20 women, both chairs and vice chairs. This House will have no problem in quorum. The reason why we have problems in quorum is because most of the chairs are men, and the vice chairs are also men. They are always busy doing a lot of deals out there. We are here always on time, and we give quorum most of the time. If you give us opportunity today, we will serve this parliament more, and you will never have issues on...
There is a point of order from Elisha.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Inferring from the statement of the Honorable Chematia, it will appear that the members who have been elected as chair and vice chair persons were appointed, not elected. I think ask more women to go for these elective positions and make sure they muscle the membership of those committees so that they're elected. It's not they're not appointed. Thank you.
Chematia, are you through?
I am not. I also want to infer back and tell him, if you listen to all of them, they are always they are referring to their appointive authority. That means there's always a way that they are guided when their elections are done in the committees. I want to ask members that in the future we are all members of parliament. We can do these jobs more better than some of the men.
Chematia, are you the only stranger in Jerusalem? Mutunga.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I would like to start where Jamatia has left. Honorable Speaker, I've listened to the members very carefully, and they are thanking the two principals for creating that opportunity, not necessarily for the specific positions that people have been given. Honorable Speaker, we are living in a very difficult time that requires very difficult decisions to be made. And I would like to thank the Honorable Dr. William Ruto and Honorable Raila Odinga for realizing that Kenya really needs to be united. When times are difficult, people need to move together. If there's anything we need at this particular point in time is a working government and a very difficult economic, situations. So, Honorable Speaker, I hope and believe that going forward, that we shall be a house that will be remembered for coming up with the best of laws, extremely objective laws. At some point in time, we imagine that some of us feel like they are supporting government. They are not really doing the work they're supposed to do. And I believe that, Honorable Speaker, from now moving forward, in view of the distribution of the leadership of the House, everybody will be objective. I have in mind the finance bill, and I don't want to revisit that particular bill. I don't think as a House we were actually objective in our debate. We lost that bill, not because it was really bad, it is because we decided not to be objective as a House. Honorable Speaker, moving forward, and now that we are together as a House, let us support this government to deliver, because we are in government, all of us. And I hope that whatever laws we make in this House going forward will be laws to benefit the Kenyans. Kenyans are watching, and Kenyans need to have confidence in this House. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Jared.
I thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Let me join my colleagues also to congratulate those who have been elected as chairs and their respective vice chairs. And we hope and pray that you will deliver on the promises we make both as a House and the executive wing of the government, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, was asking Dr. Nyikal, who has been elected chair of health, whether it was wrong to devolve health. Because from the look of things, the governors who have been given the mandate to deliver on health matters, most of them do not understand their roles, Honorable Speaker. Then the ministry was to be, at the national level, have the policy making that will then guide the implementation. So we have a disconnect with the implementers who are governors on the ground, therefore making the ministry look so bad when exactly the problem comes from the ground, Honorable Speaker. We also made reference to KEMSA, which was a brilliant idea, because again, government must have bodies that help regulate the private sector out there. Without KEMSA, medicine such as Panadol would be 1,000 shillings. But you have a government body that helps regulate prices and comes up with regulations that guide that front, Honorable Speaker. KEMSA was actually brought in to self-fund. The government was only to give seed money, which was actually given. Today, as we speak, Honorable Speaker, 3 billion shillings is owed to KEMSA by the governors from various counties, Honorable Speaker. Yet, they keep on taking drugs. KEMSA cannot come up with breaks to apply on provision of those medicines to them until they pay. So we are in a quandary, Honorable Speaker, and that is why the health sector is looking so bad. How I wish maybe in the nearest future that we can reclaim health to come back to the ministry at the national level so that it is controlled from here, Honorable Speaker. Otherwise, we will always be blaming the Minister of Health, we will always be blaming the national government, yet we know exactly where the problem lies, and I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Kimilu. Honorable Kimilu. Give him the mic.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to contribute on this important, Mr. Speaker. One, I want to congratulate all the newly elected chairs and vice chairs for the opportunity they have got. Mr. Speaker, mine is just an advice. I want to advise all the chairs and vice chairs. This is the high time they have to serve the country, not their party leaders. And if they go in direction of serving their party leaders, they'll fail. And let them know that before there were other chairs and other vice chairs.
Yes, Kimilu, there is a point of order from Women Rep Migori. What is out of order?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the honorable member has just mentioned and seems to be claiming to be advising the chair that we don't serve our party leader. I would like to let him know that the party leader does not appear in any of these committees, does not give any direction, does not look into any books. So please withdraw that statement. Party leaders are for politics, not for committee issues.
Kimilu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, allow me to ignore my colleague and assume nothing has happened because the advice he's giving me, I'm not taking it. Because the advice is that we know every member in this house come from a certain party and we are party leaders. And my advice is, let's serve Kenyans. Let's not consider the directives of our party leaders as they give us directions. We also need to consider Kenyans because we are here to serve Kenyans. And that's why I've said that, Mr. Speaker, before there were chairs, vice chairs, who served this country. So, Mr. Speaker, it's important as members of parliament, when we leave this house, we need to leave legacy. I know that when I was the chair of this committee, I delivered on this to Kenyans. So, Mr. Speaker, I had nothing bad, but I wanted just to give an advice, Mr. Speaker. And I want to congratulate them and thank them and tell them for the coming 2.5 years, we need to see their work. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Evo Barra.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. It is important to realize that there is something called goodwill. And if there was no goodwill from the leadership, we would not be here talking about inclusion. And that is what I need to advise my colleague here. Goodwill is what is lacking. And we have it now. So we must ride on this goodwill and make sure that whatever we do here is for Kenya. Thank you.
Ariko? Yes. Hold, Ariko, there is another point of order. Haika?
Mr. Speaker, I wish Honorable Kimilu will clarify what he means by serving our party leaders, because to my understanding, even the party leaders are Kenyans that we are going to serve. So I don't know what he really means by serving our party leaders. If he can clarify, maybe for this house to be able to understand.
Rico, I'm sure you know what he meant.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. Honorable Speaker, I want to take this opportunity on behalf of the people of Turkana South and the great people of Turkana County to appreciate the two party leaders, His Excellency Dr. William Samoei.
You hear that? Go on.
His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto and His Right Honorable Engineer Raila Amolo Odinga for having goodwill to give two positions to the people of Turkana. That is Honorable Epuyo and Honorable Dr. Ariko as chair and vice chair respectively in their respective committees. Honorable Chair, I want also again to thank His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto for considering all Kenyans as shareholders in his government. The broad-based government or relationship that we've seen in this country will bring
I
peace.
thought you impeached somebody for saying Kenya is a country of shareholders.
Yeah, Kenyans. All of us are shareholders, Honorable Speaker. All of us are shareholders. So I don't want to say one region is a shareholder, but all of us, by virtue of making contributions to this nation in one way or another. We are all shareholders. So that's why I want to say thank you. Thanks to the President of the Republic of Kenya. Honorable Speaker, I've been elected as Vice Chair of Public Investment Committee on Commercial Affairs and Energy. I know I've been informed this committee has a backlog that need to be cleared. With my experience, with my professional and academic experience in finance, I believe that I'll be able to add value to this committee and fast track the backlog and reduce the backlog. Honorable Speaker, I know this country has invested a lot in a number of agencies. And the feedback that needs to come out from these agencies can only come through the audited accounts. So, Honorable Chair, I want again to say thank you to the leadership of this House also.
You are addressing the Speaker, not the Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Yes. Honorable Speaker, I want also to say thank you to the leadership of this House for also considering us, because in one way or another, they contributed to us being chairs and vice chairs. And to my colleagues who have been elected as chairs and vice chairs of various committees. It is our responsibility, as the Speaker has already pronounced, we need to be present in these committees so that we execute the matters of our respective committees. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Sabina.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate the members who have gotten the position to lead as chairs and vice chairs. Having been a chair for 2 terms, Mr. Speaker, I just want to urge my colleagues that this is a huge responsibility bestowed onto you. It is important, Mr. Speaker, for the chairs to take the committee work very seriously. A lot of work is done at the committee. And sometimes, Mr. Speaker, what comes here on the floor, sometimes members vote even without understanding the concept or the content. So it's upon the chairs and vice chairs to make sure that when a subject comes in, and especially I want just to quote what my colleague was saying about the finance bill. I think last time there was a lot of politics that played in between. And Mr. Speaker, out of this House, then Kenyans really took offense with the finance bill. So I hope, Mr. Speaker, as now we have come to the second half of the term of our tenure, that will be objective, Mr. Speaker, that we are going to make sure that we communicate well to the public. This is a position that also comes with a lot of responsibility. We saw our colleagues, and I just want to say, sorry to the Chair of Finance, whose even house had to be banned for a responsibility that he took as being a chair of the Finance Committee. So sometimes you'll have to take huge responsibilities. And I also want to urge them, when the government officials comes in, whether it's PSs or CSs, let us not be cause with them. Let us push them, because our role is oversight. Once we allocate finances to them, let us also make sure that we follow up on how they are using these finances. We have some PSs who allocate finances as they wish. Mr. Speaker, it is good that we play our oversight role very well so that we make sure this government is about broad-based. At the committee level, that's where we are able to allocate the finances to the projects that Mwananchi, the person on the ground, will feel that the government is concerned. And that is maybe what Honorable was saying about serving Kenyans. We are all serving Kenyans. Congratulations to the new team. Put your best foot forward, because we are on half term now. We need to redeem. And Mr. Speaker, just as I finish, let us also not cast aspersions or accuse our own colleagues, because what happens to your colleague today, it can happen to you tomorrow. We know chairs are their positions. I have been a chair, Mr. Speaker, and I've said that. A lot of these colleagues will approach you and come and tell you, help us on this, or call so and so on my behalf. So when the chairs offer themselves, and I am very sure, and unfortunately allow me, because I come from Murang'a County, to speak about Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, who was the chair of Budget Committee. He assisted very many members here. But when his time came, the same members, Mr. Speaker, were there casting aspersions and trying to show like Ndindi was favoring himself. Please let's remember the small deeds that our colleagues help us to do. their role because they are that privileged position. And let us not accuse each other because you never know. I want to personally congratulate Honorable Nikal. I served with him at the Health Committee. He has gone through all the ranks in the health ministry. And I'm very sure, Honorable Nikal, even as I move my bill, my motion, that you'll be of good help to give insights that we have very, very, very good public hospitals. You know, at our tenure in the Health Committee, we have a fantastic facility called Kenyatta University Referral Hospital that is better, Mr. Speaker, than any other private facility in East and Central Africa. But even majority of my colleagues don't know about it, Mr. Speaker. It is a state-of-art facility with more than 300 bed capacity, which has a capacity of 600 bed capacity. And that facility, Mr. Speaker, we do not even need to use any private facility. We can go to KU, give back the money to the public, where we can be able to have enhanced medical care. So, Mr. Speaker, as I congratulate my colleagues, remember it as a responsibility. Let us not babysit these PSAs and CSAs. Let us push them so that we can be able to push and work for Kenyans for the rest of remaining few months. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Kimani.
Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you for this opportunity, and as we congratulate the new chairs, it's also congratulate you, Mr. Speaker. As the chairperson of the Parliamentary Service Commission, we've seen a great change in the running of the affairs of this Parliament. We have seen a lot of change even in the environment in which we work, because we're here most of the time. So I think it's very important that we congratulate you for the good work that you continue to do for this August House, for your fairness and magnanimity in the decisions and the rulings that you make in this House. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Sabina Chege talks about the incidents of last year during the finance bill. As we go now move forward as a House, I would really urge us to be very sober when you are having these conversations, whether in the House or outside there. Honorable Speaker, the events of last year, August, left some of our families completely devastated. Some of us, the personal losses we took, will take a very long time to recover. But Honorable Speaker, everyone in this House knows that the final document that was approved by this House was a very good bill, and that is why when those amendments were brought again in December, this Honorable House passed through the same finance bill that we passed here through the 4 different pieces of law that we brought to this House. So I want to urge us, irrespective of whichever political directions we will take moving forward, because the political formations could even change as we go towards the election. Let us be honest to ourselves, let us be honest to our people, let us be honest to our nation, and let us just make statements or inside the public for things that you know, for example, they are completely a lie. So I want to urge us that we really move forward together. For the new departmental chairs, Honorable Speaker, there is a matter before the Finance and Planning Committee on the non-remittance of pensions for pensioners. Honorable Speaker, we have more than 64 billion shillings that is owed to pensioners, and these are from especially the water agencies, the universities, and many other state agencies, Honorable Speaker. These accounting officers are remitting salaries to the employees. They deduct pension, but they don't remit that pension to the pension fund. And therefore, you're having people who dedicate very many years of their service for this republic, only for them to go to retirement, and there is no money for their pension. So I want to urge us in all the committees that you seek, especially as we will be coming to discuss the appropriations bill and the estimates, let us make sure that our entities do, especially the disbursement of pension funds, so that when people retire, they have their pensions ready. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Richard Diagon.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I would also like to take this opportunity to congratulate those who have been elected as chairs and the vice chairs of various committees. And I would like to also urge and request all those who have been elected to fairly distribute all what has been put in the budgets and all those things we have been planning in the committees to make sure that everything has been balanced across the country. Because most of the time, there are some committees whereby when we talked about and we talk about planning and all these things which benefits all of us. You find there's skew towards a given area, and we want all this to the chairs and the vice chairs to make sure that this has been acted fairly to benefit all of us. I want to wish everybody that may God guide us, and thank all the head of state and the leader of ODM, Raila Odinga, for bringing also this country to calmness after the issues we witnessed last year. And going forward, I think this is how the country should behave, instead of having a lot of squabbles when we start a government and people start pulling on another direction and talking of a given area. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Mario? Then we'll close with Koyo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity.
Yes.
I want to congratulate the chairs and the deputies who have been elected in this remaining term of Parliament, and also want to thank those who have been there for the other term which has passed, because they carried their mandate well, and also to tell them to be able to do better where they have been placed, even if you have not been given a chair, but you have been sent to a committee where your input is required. I want to thank especially the chair from Independent, who has been elevated to be a chair, and because I'm a member of the Independent Caucus, we are so grateful that she was able to be elected. And also we have also a vice chair who is also independent. So the House is well balanced, and also we want to thank the broad-based government for bringing calm in this country so that we can be able to work together, because two cannot work together unless they agree. And now because we are agreeing, I'm sure we are going to do a lot of development for the remaining part of this Parliament, and many developments will come along the way. Many bills will be passed, because no more arguments, because we are working in harmony. For those real remarks, I congratulate them. Thank you, Speaker.
Mohoroni.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for recognizing me on the onset. I want to take this opportunity also to thank and congratulate my colleagues who are able to be elected in various positions of vice chairman and vice chairman. And in my experience in this House, I have learned that the committees become more visible and more successful when they have serious and mature leadership, people who emulate, bring a lot of cohesion across the board, and they consult here and there. And many of those who are elected, I have seen very serious people who are all the times in Parliament and all the times engaged in debates, like my friend Dr. Nyikal. I wish to congratulate him, and I only hope that he will have a good cohesion within the members that elected him. To my regret, Honorable Speaker, is I belong to a committee chaired by yours truly, Speaker, called Powers and Privileges Committee. I have been astounded as to whether this is the punishment point where people who have differed or people who are supposed to be concerned for some kind of punishment are pushed there, because it's so inactive, so
Which
moribund.
committee?
Powers and Privileges Committee. Yes. So that there are really no activities taking place, and yet it is my point of destination. Every circle of Parliament I am pushed there, and because I am loyal to the party, I go there without complaining. Year in, year out, no activity. We don't even go outside for, like, in the last Parliament, we were able to go out for some engagement. And since the year began, we have not done anything. And I only hope that this time we will improve a bit, and that will grow enthusiasm. Otherwise, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity without a card.
Paulo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. And on the onset, let me join my colleagues in congratulating the chairs and vice chairs of various committees. And in exception, Mr. Speaker, I'm really very happy that I hear people complaining about their committees. But right now, I'm very proud that even in this house, I have both my chairs, Kuria Kimani right here, and Fatuma Full Network. And their commitment in our committees, I take exception of Kuria Kimani, who really, when we have committee meetings, he can sit from morning to evening. I sometimes even wonder when he goes to receive the call of nature, because I don't see him even standing up. So he's given a lot of commitment to the committee, and I urge all chairpersons to give that same commitment, and actually also understanding his work. So when the Honorable Sabina talked about the unfortunate incidents that happened to him because of the finance bill, I also regret that fact, because he took a lot of his time, him being a CPA, to actually analyze and put on toes also all the stakeholders who are coming to bring their proposals. And in the final draft, I believe it was a very good one, because I'm also part of the committee members. So it was so unfortunate, and on behalf of all of us and the members, it was unfortunate that he had to pass what he underwent. So, Pole, Chair. Let me also congratulate our principals, Mr. Speaker, for uniting Kenya, and at least we can now see new faces in leadership. I've always been admiring Dr. Nyikal, the way he presents himself in Parliament and the commitment he has given. And I usually pray that when I grow old, I would really want to be like, like Dr. When I grow up, I would like to be like Dr. Nyikal. And again, it has given opportunity. I'm surprised we're in the same committee with Dr. Rico, who also gives a lot of commitment to our committee, and now he's a vice chair, or is he a chair? I don't know what he said he is in the other committee, vice chair. So this unity seems to be very strong. He used to be a critic, and today I'm happy that he has mentioned Dr. William Samoei Ruto's name very positively for the very first time. So thank you so much. So I can see that this country is moving forward. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Mogaka.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. May I also add my voice of congratulations to those of our colleagues who have been appointed to leadership. And I also encourage them that let them make this House, the 13th Parliament, recapture the pride that those of us who have gone to school deserve. In particular, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the ODM or the minority for finding place for Honorable Irene Mayaka as chair. She hails from my constituency, and she reminds me that my constituency of West Mogrango is always a first for women, because under the old constitution, the only other woman who stepped in parliament under the previous constitution was Honorable Catherine Nyamato, also from West Mogrango constituency. So I'm urging chairs that if you have a project of funding to channel, just look at West Mogrango, because that is a very fertile ground and we are very gender friendly. And to Dr. Nyikal, I congratulate you. You are an epitome of a parliamentary success. And in health, I will be coming to plead with you that in my primary school, Nyamira Primary School is just next to a mortuary. And whenever bodies are taken out from the mortuary, you know in Western the drama that goes along with that. And majority of our young children get traumatized when they see the way people pull out the bodies from the morgue. I will be coming to you. We look for a solution. And I congratulate you one more time and wish all of us success in our endeavors. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Rose Museo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. I wish to join my colleagues in congratulating those all who elected as chairs and vice chairs. Particularly myself was given a second chance again to be the vice chair for the implementation committee. I do not only say thank you, but also I want to praise the members of parliament for being sensitive for persons living with disability, like myself being given a position for the second time, means that actually we are becoming sensitive to those who are PWDs, and I want to say congratulations. Thank you, and I look forward to serving this committee with all my ability, and I believe that you're going to achieve best results coming to the end of this parliament. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members, it is now 2 minutes to 1. We were sitting up to 1. We have, pardon? Paul, you want to say something? Go ahead. Take 1 minute.
Asante sana Bwana Spika. Pia nami nataka kujiunga pamoja na wenzangu kuwapa kongole wenyekiti pamoja na manaibu wao kwa kuteuliwa katika kuongoza kamati za bunge. Niwaambie Wakenya katika kipindi ambacho kimesalia wameiangalia hii bunge sana ili iweze kuwasaidia. Na sisi wale ambao tunaketi katika hizo kamati tuko tayari kushirikiana pamoja nanyi na kuwasaidia popote pale ambapo mnataka ili tuhakikishe yale majukumu ambayo yanawafinya wananchi wa taifa hili tumeweza kuyatatua. Asante sana Bwana Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable members, the rest of the business on the order paper will be given priority upon resumption from the short recess. You may now be upstanding. Honorable members, it's now 12:59 p.m. This House now stands adjourned until Tuesday, 1st of April 2025, and I want to truly thank all of you. Today was not a normal sitting day. You've made a sacrifice in accordance with our resolution, and the industry you have put in clearing pending legislation cannot go unnoticed. We wish you an eventful 2-week recess. Those in committees, spend time to do your committee work because committees are working, and those who are not, enjoy your 2 weeks.